All right, so you're looking for some practical wisdom from Jordan B. Peterson's Beyond Order. You want to dive into this whole 12 more rules for life thing.
Yeah, beyond order can be a bit intimidating, right?
It's a mouthful for sure. But we're up for it. We're here to help you find some clarity in, well, this blend of stoicism and self-improvement.
It's really interesting how Peterson brings those two things together, and it's clearly resonating with people. I mean, a lot of people are looking for guidance, especially now.
Totally. The world feels kind of chaotic,
It does, doesn't it?
which is probably why you sent over this podcast monologue, D's books. It's like chatting with a friend who's super into self-help.
Right. And they did a great job summarizing some of Peterson's key rules, which is really helpful because beyond order is dense. A good summary can really give you a feel for the overall message.
For sure. It's a good place to start. So the first rule they highlight is, do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It is. But basically, Peterson's saying that all these structures we have, government, religion, even family traditions, they exist for a reason.
He's not saying we should just blindly follow tradition, though, right?
Right.
It's more about understanding the why, the purpose behind these structures.
It's like renovating a house. You don't just rip out the foundation without a plan.
Exactly. You got to know what you're doing. Imagine like a historical building.
Oh, I see what you mean.
We might want to modernize it, make it our own, but we don't just demolish the entire thing, especially not without appreciating its history, right? The foundation is important.
Okay, so we need that foundation, that structure to build on. But doesn't that kind of stifle creativity? If we're too focused on the old ways, how can we innovate?
That's such a good point, and that's where the second part of the rule comes in, creative achievement. Peterson's not saying we should just stagnate. He knows innovation is crucial. We have to progress.
So how do we balance those two things? Honoring the past and, moving forward.
It's about being thoughtful, not just reacting, but taking action in a way that honors both the old and the new.
So it's about being critical, but not blindly critical. We have to understand the why.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about Peterson's work. He's not dictating, he's encouraging you to think for yourself. And you know what? That leads us perfectly to the next rule, which is all about self-improvement. Imagine who you could be and aim single-mindedly at that.
Ooh, I like that one. It's got that go-getter energy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But it's also a little intimidating. Like, where do I even begin?
absolutely. You've got to break it down. Peterson isn't talking about overnight transformation. It's all about consistent progress, small steps. What resonates with you in that idea? Like, what's one small change you've been thinking about making in your own life?
It's about the direction you're heading in.
Yeah.
Right? It's so easy to get caught up in this whole best version of yourself idea, and then it feels overwhelming.
Totally. It's like, oh, I have to change everything. No, maybe this week I'm going to finally organize that bookshelf. Something small.
Yes. Small steps. And that actually ties into the next rule, which is all about opportunity. Peterson says, notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. Basically, he's saying that what other people see as a mess, we can see as potential. It's like every problem is also a solution, just waiting for someone to come along and,
Grab it. Exactly. He's saying we need to be proactive, see those areas where other people haven't stepped up, and realize, hey, this is a chance for me to do something. It's really empowering when you think about it that way.
okay, I'm starting to feel motivated. But, change can be tough. Even when we see the opportunity, it can be hard to stay positive,
Yeah.
especially when things get messy.
Oh, absolutely. And Peterson actually addresses that in Rule 11. This one's a bit of a mouthful. Do not allow yourself to become resentful, deceitful, or arrogant. It's like he's giving us a roadmap for navigating chaos and, not becoming a terrible person.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
Mm.
But yeah, staying positive when things are tough is,
Yeah.
well, it's not easy.
It's so easy to fall into negativity, blaming others, getting resentful.
Oh yeah, it's like a comfort zone, even though it's not comfortable at all.
Right. But Peterson argues that all of that negativity, while it's understandable, it's ultimately destructive. It keeps us stuck.
Okay, so how do we get unstuck? What's the opposite of resentment and all that?
He says radical honesty is the key.
Radical honesty. Okay, that sounds a little intense, like brutally honest all the time.
It's about being real, authentic, both with yourself and with others.
So no more white lies.
Well, it starts with being honest with ourselves, owning our part in things, acknowledging our shortcomings, even when it's hard. But it's also about recognizing our strengths.
So it's about being honest about the good and the bad. No false modesty, but also no pretending we're perfect.
Exactly. It's about seeing ourselves clearly, strengths and weaknesses and all, and that self-awareness, that honesty with ourselves, it allows us to be more honest with others, too.
Okay, I see that. But how does that tie back to this idea of chaos? It seems like honesty, especially radical honesty, could create more chaos, at least in the beginning.
That's a great point. You're right. Honesty can be disruptive. It challenges the status quo. It pushes us out of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
But Peterson would say it's through that disruption, that embrace of chaos, that real growth happens. It's like that saying,
Out of the ashes.
the phoenix is reborn. Exactly. We have to be willing to go through the fire to come out stronger on the other side.
Wow, yeah, that's a powerful image. It's not about avoiding the chaos, but using it as fuel for transformation. But, I mean, this is still all easier said than done, right? How do we actually put these rules into practice in our daily lives?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's what's so interesting about Peterson's work. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. He's not giving us a step-by-step guide to life.
Right, it's not like, do this, and you'll be happy.
Exactly. He's giving us ideas, concepts, and encouraging us to really think about them, wrestle with them, figure out what they mean for our own lives. This monologue, it's like a springboard.
It's giving us the push we need to dive in.
Yes. And hopefully, to keep swimming.
It's about finding our own way.
Precisely. What resonates with you in all of this? What feels true? What feels challenging? What sparks your curiosity?
What makes you want to explore further?
Yes. Follow those threads. That's where the real growth happens.
It's like that saying, take what you need and leave the rest.
I love that. And I think that's what Dee's books does so well in this monologue. It's not trying to cover everything in beyond order. It's giving us a taste, some key ideas to get us thinking.
It's been an incredible conversation. We've covered so much ground, from these big societal structures to, really personal stuff like being honest with ourselves.
All while embracing a little chaos along the way.
Right. That seems to be the common thread, actually. So, if we had to distill everything down to one key takeaway, what would it be if our listeners only remember one thing from this whole conversation?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's that you have agency. You have a choice. You can let chaos overwhelm you, or you can choose to use it to fuel your growth. It's about taking responsibility, being proactive, taking those small steps.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own lives.
Exactly.
I love that. It's empowering.
It is. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There's no finish line. It's about constantly learning, growing, evolving.
And for you listening, we want to hear from you. Which rule resonated most with you? Where do you see opportunities for growth or change in your life? Let us know. Keep those questions in mind as you move forward, and you might just surprise yourself. Until next time.